Sup guys, this is Peter here, and in this video I will show you my favorite no meta builds. I must emphasize that I don't consider these to be the best or the meta builds, more like a decent build with some unusual or unique game style. Alright, let me know if you like a build or two, and I will put build codes in the description. Let's do this. So we are going to start from left to right as the character selection screen goes. So the first is going to be a monk. You know, it feels epic when you are swinging a hammer on a tiny monk. At least this is why I like this build. Judgment Strike, the anniversary elite, provides nice AoE knockdown on attacking foes. Then we have Symbol of Wrath, Strength of Honor to boost the DPS, and of course if you have already knocked down foes, you must rely on Renewing Smash and other hammer mastery skills. The anniversary hammer is a good choice, but honestly any hammer with Zealous mod will do the job, and I think the build has decent damage for a monk, 2 knockdown skills, 3 AoE skills, not too bad actually, but guys, remember, you are a coaster in melee range, your armor is coaster armor. Even with blessed insignias it's not as high as a warrior's armor, for example, so make sure your heroes can save a ass if needed. Okay, moving on, Ranger is the next one. For Rangers, I will show you 2 builds. The first will be familiar for many of you, probably from PvP battles. Basically, if you have a high rank in expertise, the energy cost of many skills will be low as hell. This also includes touch skills. This is how you can spam Vampiric Bite and Vampiric Touch very easily. So instead of the 15 base energy for a Ranger at 16 expertise, these skills only cost 4 energy each. Also, you have plenty of blocking skills in this build. Whirling Defense lasts for 21 seconds, and you can double that with Dwarven Stability and make your Ranger even more OP. In case you are fighting melees, you can even blind them with Throw Dirt, and if you would need some energy, you can use the Elite Offering of Blood. Of course, the DPS isn't as high as today's standards, but still a fun way to solo some stuff on a Ranger or play in a casual party. Okay, the other Ranger build is a classic trapper. I love using traps. Sadly, trapping builds aren't really popular anymore. The gameplay in 2024 is way faster than it was in 2005. You kill foes in 4 seconds these days, basically, but if you are not in a hurry, you can have some fun with traps. Just maintain Serpent's quickness and just put down a few sets of traps. Then bring the foes into the traps and enjoy the show. You can do huge chunks of damage like this. Okay, the next one is the Necro. I always love playing with Dark Aura and Sacrifice skills. Well, I think this build is underrated. Look how big damage you can do on bolt-up groups. You inflict blindness, bleeding on foes because of contagion. You know, the elite skill copies all conditions from your character to the enemies around you. It's an easy to use build, just put the enchantments up, 6, 7 and 8. Then find a big group, use Death Charge and quickly use 2 and 3. This will do a huge spike, then you can just spam Dark Pact on the surviving foes. And the build has great energy management due to Soul Reaping, so energy won't really be a problem. And make sure your healer heroes are well prepared though, this is kind of a suicide build. Our next class is the Mesmer. I always loved Keystone Signet, even made a duo farm video about that. Now if you are interested in that, check the description. Story in short, you have great AoE damage on bolt-up groups, plenty of interrupts, high armor, weakness and even self-heal with Mantra of Signets. You can solo farm with this one or even use it in casual PvE. For the latter I recommend using Mantra of Inscriptions instead, you know, for faster signet recharge times. The anniversary shield can boost your armor too, highly recommended. Okay, Elementalist comes now. This build will take your allies into melee range quickly since the elite Starburst is a touch skill. So just maintain the enchantments and use Dark Escape when you aggro, and try to reach as many foes as you can with fire skills and use them as often as possible. Intensity with Starburst can make a nice spike, and you know, allies armor isn't the greatest or the highest, but with Dark Escape and Blessed Insignias you can be more tanky. If you want more damage, just drop the self-heal and bring additional fire skills, or even the Ebon Battle Standard of Honor, and heroes will save you anyway. Alright, Paragon is the next one, and I must admit Paragon is my least favorite profession, so I will be relying a lot on secondary skills in this case. The first build is a Beastmaster Spearmaster hybrid. The elite is called Enraged Lunge, which provides a nice damage and deep wound. Then we have Brutal Strike, which is a great finisher skill. Go for the eyes, helps with energy management, and we have some party-wide protection too with There is Nothing to Fear and some shouts to make the pet stronger. The build is very energy heavy, so we must be attacking with the spear all the time and spam the adrenaline skill, but otherwise it has nice damage for a Paragon. Okay, I will give you another fun Paragon build, Starburst again and Fire Spells. Well, Paragons have only 2 pips of energy regen, meaning they suck at casting spells, but with some changes you can fix that. Glyph of Lesser Energy is one way, also Glowing Signet and Go for the Eyes. So the build has some decent AoE damage skills, and with the fire modded spear you can actually do some damage with your auto attacks too. I don't say it's a game changer for Paragons, but hey, at least something new, something unusual for sure. Okay, moving on, Ritualist is the next one. If you possess the Anniversary Flatbow, you can have fun with a build like this. Spirit Strength increases damage nicely if you have a weapon spell on you. Then Splinter does nice AoE damage, and the Ranger skills help to hit your targets multiple times. You must use Splinter quite frequently, and the bow skills are energy heavy too, so make sure you have a Zealous Bow and use Spirit Siphon if your energy is low. Bloody Power Necro can also help, they will give you a beep when needed, and if you are playing with others, ask them to bring Great Dwarf weapon for you. This way you can deal even more damage and the build becomes less energy heavy. Alright, Dervish is the next one. The first build will be new for many of you, Avatar of Dwayna and the enchantments. Basically every time you use Dervish enchantments, you can heal the whole party, and not just party members but also allies. By the way, this is how I beat Unwaking Water solo without heroes or henches, but now let's go back to the build. So if you have plenty of fast recharging, fast ending enchantments, you can do great healing. Serpent's Quickness helps with recharge times, of course. Meditation gives energy each time you lose an enchantment, so you are never running out of energy with this build. But don't expect too much from the build. This isn't really good against spikes or something, more like a nice secondary AoE heals build. Still, we managed to beat the Great Destroyer in normal mode without any other healers, but the ST hero was needed though. It's a fun build, highly recommended, but make sure you are not using enchantment modes on this one, because we want our Dervish enchantments to end as soon as possible. The next build will be familiar for those who've been following my solo Dervish content. Avatar of Grenth, Grand's Aura, Vow of Piety, Attacker's Insight, Mystic Healing, Drunken Master and Bleeding. This build does armor ignoring life stealing damage, and if you can hit 3 enemies while the enchants are up, you are basically invincible. You can do close to 150 life stealing with auto attacks and over 200 self heal. The build has saved me many times. I have soloed missions with this, and bosses, and even Shiro with this one. It has high armor, great self heal, decent damage, blocking ability, weakness, bleeding on foes, basically everything you need. I would say as long as there is no heavy energy removal, you can't really die. Alright, next profession, the warrior. So I had a quite old fun build, and no, not this one. The build with Symbolic Strike. This skill can do plus 72 damage if you have 6 signets in your build, and it's quite easily spammable with some adrenaline boost. And my original build was using an axe and Battle Rage. Then, as I was recording clips for this video, I was like, why I haven't been using a hammer, since hammers have higher base damage than axes do, and why not use the anniversary skill. So actually you can have 20 hammer mastery with this build. And I made this change, also dropped a signet. We still have 5 for a maximum of plus 60 damage, and gave it a try in hard mode. Of course, I added some necro and monk stuff to make it as comfortable as possible for my warrior, but look at the numbers. 150 damage against warriors in hard mode, even 200 against coasters. I think it's quite impressive. The only thing you need to remember is to have 5 or 6 signets in your build and spam symbolic strike all the time. You know, with the necro's adrenaline boost and for great justice, you can recharge the skill immediately, and I guess I could have made a scythe mastery version too with the Dervish secondary. Never mind, maybe next time. But anyway, this is a great build, maybe worth being in the meta category, but wanted to show you anyway, so give it a try. And finally, the assassin. I wanted to show you something that is not the usual boring dagger spam, so take a look. Bowmaster Assault Ranger hybrid. Shadow Theft can increase both your critical hit chances and your bow skills effectiveness. So crit agility, way of the master, and critical eye have maximizing your damage output, and the build is easy to use. Just maintain the enchantments and use the elite on a foe and spam the attack skills. Decent damage and critical strikes gives plenty of energy if you land a critical hit, and you can add disrupting accuracy for more fun and interrupt your enemies with critical hits. And last but not least, a fun dagger build using Flourish, Warrior Elite. It's a very easy to use build. Start with Club of 1000 Bears, then use 2, 3, 4, then Flourish, and you can start the dagger chain again. The build not only has great damage, but also knockdown, poison, deep wound and bleeding conditions, and I think it's way more fun than the usual 3 dagger skills, and it still has great damage. I mean, you can almost defeat foes with only 4 skills in hard mode. Now I think this isn't too bad. Of course, make sure you have Strength of Honor on your assassin for maximum DPS, and also you can add Rolling Headbutt or some other knockdown when attacking humans. You know, the bear skill only works against non-humans. So guys, that's it, my favorite no meta builds. If you have found something new, please let me know in a comment, and also share your favorite builds. Thanks for watching and see you next time.